channel website. And if you are interested in hosting hackathons, feel free to reach out to us as well.
Awesome, Bill. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And up next, we have Arto and Matt from ASIMOV Protocol. I'm going to bring you guys up to the stage. Matt, welcome. There's your screen. How's it going? Arto?
Hey, Cameron.
GM.
So
last week, you presented a ton of stuff. How the hell did you ship even more stuff in the last week? It's POSITRON. Matt, I think you're muted.
Sorry, yes, unmute. Right, okay. So yes, we did ship a lot of stuff last week and probably even more kind of this week. So perfect segue from hackathons. Okay, so for those that don't know us, ASIMOV is all about verified knowledge, right? Verified, trusted knowledge, especially around AI and LLMs. So last week we talked about POSITRON, which is our first kind of end user product that allows you to actually use an LLM and presents an MCP server that can interrogate your own personal data. So your Telegram, your email, all that lot. That's all great. But trying to do demos of that and research on that is a little bit tricky because it's personal data, right? And the whole point about ASIMOV is that it keeps that personal data local. So we needed something to kind of test, okay, more public data. And speaking of hackathons, we then took the opportunity to use a Google hackathon, actually 2 Google hackathons around AI that were going on to build something. So as you know, I'm based in Barbados. My eldest daughter, Katie, is back in the UK. She's an aspiring developer, moved over from education to tech a few years ago. And so we took this opportunity to work together on building something using the concepts from ASIMOV. So we created a thing called UHearDem. And what UHearDem does is it takes all of the hours and hours and hours, about 8,000, I believe it is, hours of video recordings from the Barbados Parliament sessions and builds a knowledge graph of them using all of the concepts that we are doing in ASIMOV, and gives you an AI in which you can then converse with them. So you can go to the site, it's live at the moment, uheardem.com, and you can ask it a question. So what's happened recently about the economy? And it will come out and give you information here and even a direct link that you can click on that will take you to the YouTube video, to the exact point in the video where the point was made. Now, one of the great things that we sort of learned out of this was, as you can see here, when I've asked about recent stuff and it's come back and it's talking about 2023. So one of the things is that it hasn't got that good a appreciation of sort of temporal awareness. And also I can actually, there's a sort of a hidden command here where I can bring up the knowledge graph behind the scenes. So the next iteration of that, we are actually using something that's going on in the background here, which is doing deduplication of entities in the knowledge graph using AI. So it's going through here and saying that, for example, independence is the same concept as constitutional independence. Previously, it treated them as 2 separate things, whereas here it's saying, actually, no, those are the same concept together, right? So if I go and ask exactly the same question on the version that we have now in development, then it'll come up and show here, as it works away here, much more recent stuff. So it talks about 2025. And like I said, I can click on there and it'll bring you straight up to the video in which they talk about it. And not only that, the knowledge graph is much richer now and much better connected because we're deduplicating. So we've gone from an average of about 1.5 relationships per entity to about 3.5 relationships per entity on average here. So that's what we've been working on. Launched that this week. Actually launched it on Father's Day, on Sunday, Father's Day in the UK with my daughter. So that was really cool. In parallel to that, Arto's been working on a whole bunch of other stuff. So I will pass on to him to talk about that.
Thank you, Matt. Indeed, the way we split efforts is that Matt is our pioneer. He's out there in the jungle with his machete and making that path for us, and then I and our engineering team, we follow and we lay down the road. So that's maybe as a metaphor useful. Now we have a big week coming up next week. We are going to roll out the ASIMOV platform. So I'll give a bit of a sneak preview just for our community on this stuff. There is a so there's a GitHub. There is a Twitter handle you can follow. That's ASIMOV_platform. There's a website in the works that will be available shortly. I hope that comes through. And we have begun to roll out things like, for example, the specifications that underlie the protocol and the platform. So this is already live at ASIMOV-specs GitHub IO, but not all the specs are there except the stubs. But some specs are already fleshed out. So these specs will describe everything that we're doing and why it matters. I could show here a bit of a brief live demo preview, since live demos are the name of the game. So let me just get the terminal hooked up here. There we go. So here we have the ASIMOV CLI, and using this we can say, for example, what are the modules that are installed, that are enabled or disabled, and we can go ahead and we can install, for example, the near module here. So the near module gets fetched from the binary build on GitHub. We can install other modules like data providers that would let us pull a great variety of data sources, and then we can basically do what we talked about last week, Cameron, which is we are resolving particular URLs into which module will handle this URL based on the URL protocol. So in this case, of course, near, but also based on things like URL prefixes and patterns. So with this, we can check that we have modules to handle some variety of data sources here. And in one case, for example, the Google search results, if you wanted to get those, we have even two modules that can two data sources that can handle that variety of data sources here. What's happening here? Playing video in the background. If you want to get those, is it from me or you? Two modules.
I think you're good. I think there was feedback on that end.
Second. Bad time for a Starlink glitch. Okay. Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Cool. All right. And once we have modules installed, that then means that we have facilities. Like in this case, we can just see what we have. We have the near fetcher here, and we can put in that and pull in block data from near, and similarly for anything else that we might wish to obtain as a knowledge graph. So that's a bit of a sneak preview. This all will be rolling out for everybody next week. And yeah, how are we doing on time? I can always present more, but maybe.
Yeah, you're good. You have about, let's see, you have a couple more minutes, 2 more minutes.
All right.
Oh, see ya. Kind of funny. So Matt, quick question. So assume you have like higher fidelity knowledge graphs. Like, what does that mean for model builders exactly?
Basically, much more accurate information for the LLMs to actually reason over, and that's the big problem, is that in all of these cases with these knowledge graphs, you're doing a sort of an MCP RAG type sort of fetching of data, bringing it in, and then giving it to the context. But you can't fetch the entire thing. I mean, in that example I showed you, we have nearly 700,000 statements from those recordings, right? And like I said, there's no way you can pull that all into an LLM in one go. It's just going to blow it up.
Yep.
Right. So it's about fetching the relevant pieces and pulling them in. And the better the knowledge graph to start with, the easier that is to do and return that to the LLM. So like I said, the whole deduplication, it's something that some of this stuff has been studied in knowledge graphs for a long, long time. But actually having the ability to do this now with LLMs makes this kind of stuff a lot more accessible now. So we're actually prototyping, and actually dog fooding, going from like raw data through a knowledge graph to an LLM, which is what ASIMOV is kind of all about, and having a lab in which we can sort of play with that data.
Got it. But just so I'm super clear, one of your main target partners are model builders. Like you want them to use the ASIMOV knowledge graphs or add it into their existing workflow for RL or something to further improve their model if it's getting demand. Like it's going to improve. It's going to want to improve itself. So
right.
Is that the target market?
That would be, ultimately that would be amazing if, like, when you go onto, Claude.ai or you go to, ChatGPT, that one of the tools down the bottom is ASIMOV. That would be perfect.
Cool.
But, we realize there's a long way to go to get to that point. And so, we're working on a sort of an incremental strategy with that. And so one of the things is this tool, POSITRON, that lets you work on your own personal data as well. So we're kind of approaching this from several different angles.
Got it. Cool. Arto, welcome back. You are muted.
Thank you. Yes, so maybe just as a call to action here, you can sign up for the Positron beta at getpositron.ai, and we'll ship you an early version sometime next month.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you for joining yet again. Hope to see you next week or the following week, and we will do our best to start driving more attention to Positron. Part of my what did you ship this week is I hired 2 interns, which is great. So they're going to help me manage the accounts and everything. And so hopefully we can drive more signups to everyone's alpha tests.
Yeah, Cameron, the point here of everything we are doing is to supercharge your interns. It's not to replace them, right? So all about intelligence augmentation more than AI as such.
And tell them to go to getpositron.ai and they can sign up for the waitlist.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. And